Well, hello there. So, I tweaked some things, and I was busy tweaking some things. I added more music, and the microphone should work better now, I hope. Like, there's apparently a pattern, and you can make it more sensitive in front, which is what I did. Right, so what are we gonna do today? Today we are gonna test the undo button. I skipped it last time because I wanted to raid Soding and didn't miss that. Apparently I could have easily tested it because he went on streaming for another hour, but whatever. So yeah, let's show the to-do list. Actually... Oh, I also fixed the font stuff, so now if I fork out new window, it will always be on the right font size. So it will always be bigger, which is cool. Right, so there, like, I tested the undo stuff off screen for a bit, and it turns out there's still one bug with planning in. It doesn't undo that, but free requests are undone. So we need to test out what's going on there. And I'm thinking just displaying the state. I also think the way I did it at the moment is a bit ugly. And you'll see that soon, because we actually need to spit out the event to do the updates in the roster as well. Which is unfortunate. Let's actually open up the app. I think I can, because I have set up everything before stream. So yeah, let's do that now. Oh no, it's not localhost anymore. Sometimes I test on localhost, but not this time. I want to have speed. Need to load the JavaScript, the obnoxious amount of JavaScript, in the words of Slack. And you can see I tested here before. So there's actually another bug. We can't undo deletions from the past, but I'm not gonna fix that because that will be a lot of work. I need to bypass the entire validation system, and I don't want to do that right now. So we'll just leave that in. I don't think it's a big deal. But yeah, like, it works surprisingly well. And we're also gonna unline this, like put it on the same line. But it shouldn't be a big of a deal. So another thing I want to do rather soon is actually fix up reflex servant. I've been looking at the code that does the plan and stuff, and it's just so complicated because we have to deal with dynamics. And if you can make it all be events, then it will be a lot nicer. And I've also been thinking about making like a separate day for just fixing open source, like open sourcing either stuff from my project or fixing existing libraries. So maybe make like a planning or something. But I'll do that off stream because it's boring. Yeah. So right now we can. Well, let's delete this and then do it. So this is a free request of someone. Oh, I should put it in English as well. That's a good point. There we go. Actually, I probably should also put in the detection. We can do that now. Based on browser request, right? You can see if someone wants to have English or Dutch. That. Good. So let's delete. Has to think about it. So now it's gone, and we can press undo. And it's back again. That works, right? But if we delete the no, I think this delete also works. Right, we can delete the entry and it should also get it back. So you just plus the entire entry, so that should be fine. I haven't tested this though. Click. Come on. It's thinking about it. Or maybe it didn't understand the click? Yeah. What the fuck is... Why do we have a scroll bar there? Oh, I did understand, but it's just slow. Like, I feel I'm using a lot of CPU, yeah. What is this? This is not my app, I think. Oh, it's probably all the Twitch shit I have open. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Hey Lumi, what up, man? Click. Go. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's so slow. I should close some tabs, I think. Twitch is also pretty heavy, actually. I did like a design overhaul, and yesterday I think my entire system crashed. They may actually be doing that again. Yesterday I think I had like a memory leak in Firefox or something. It was weird. But not right now, so. Click. I saw a Planet Money or I listened to a Planet Money podcast just now. There was like a guy giving a presentation about some Indian guy giving a presentation, and every time an assistant would click the PowerPoint ahead, he would just say click, just to click the PowerPoint ahead. Like let a colleague do it instead of doing it himself. It's important. Like all the effort done by a colleague for some reason. I don't know. But now I just keep on saying click apparently. Time to start running Chrome Firefox in a container, or at least with memory limits. Yeah, I can make C groups for it. I probably can like override the launcher in Nix and give it a C group by default. And then it will just seamlessly integrate with. It seems like a lot of work though. I should actually do a great Nix stream. I want to do that as well. The great Nix stream. Because Sodi has been bitching so much about Nix, and I want to show some features. Because it can do some pretty interesting stuff actually. But maybe not as a desktop, I don't know. I'm still kind of in the air about that. Like, how do C groups work anyway? Is there a manual for that? Maybe you need to do it through nspawn. I don't think you need to C group anyway. Like you can do it on a single process basis. Maybe you need to have. Oh yeah, it does. But they could bump up their resume. They contributed to Linux. How do you use it? Oh, there. Manage groups on the fly using tools like create. Yeah, so you can just wrap the process around this and limit it. Oh, I bet somebody already did this. I bet you have like existing wrappers. No, nobody did this. But it would be interesting as well. Right, so the thing I'm trying to fix actually is because that worked. Did it work? Did I test that? Oh, we're not next week now. We should still be able to undo though. Because just a list in memory. This is this week. Undo. Oh, we didn't delete it. What? And we should also make a message if we press undo and there's nothing to undo. There's nothing to undo. In yellow. Come on. My laptop is too slow. There are command line tools to start progress with limits. Don't think they are installed by default though. But like in Nix you can just say you want to have these runtime dependencies, right? So I thought maybe someone had already made a function to wrap a program inside such a process limit thing, but apparently nobody has thought of that. But it would actually be like a really good way to do it, I think. Now you probably can't do it. Well, you can do it generically because you just need to wrap the whatever binary you're running. But I don't know if Nix is aware of that. Like what binary you're running. Delete. Did it show this, by the way, or didn't I? Why is there no pop-up for delete? What the hell? Why is my system so buggy? Yeah, it's back again. Okay, good. They both work. So... Right, planning. That planning doesn't work yet. So if you plan someone in, we can't undo it right now. And what I want to do is just dump the state of undo on the document and see what it is. Because I think it doesn't get stored, like the action. You press undo now, it shouldn't undo that. It should undo it, but it doesn't do that. And it just doesn't even give a message or anything. So either it means we don't get the... No, it just means that we probably don't store that, or we don't know how to use it, or something like that. Let's go to undo widget. Beautiful errors. I was thinking like this triangle stuff doesn't work for lenses though, because lenses go the other way around. Do we have lenses here? Yeah, lenses go like this. No, reload. Look at no. Buffer. No, it's not called reload, it's called something else. It's revert. I should also make a shortcut for this, by the way. I'm gonna do that. Metal file operates myself, at least in Haskell. What language may work better? Yeah. Like there's no guarantee it goes that way. If you compose like that. Because this is not true, you go from this to that. Do we have any other? I don't have any much lenses here, so I can't really show that. But it goes, you first map over this and then you do that. I'm not sure why he did that actually. I think he had choice. I mean, Edward Comet, he made lenses. I mean, I like this part at least. Like now it all goes the same direction. Also figured out why this couldn't be pure. Like you can't make a left lighting like this. Well, you can, but now you still need to put it in a monad. This is not the right signature of a monad. Because you need to wrap it in the M again, even though it's pure. You can fmap into it though. That's fine, but you still need to get rid of the monad, so. Yeah, I like this one the best actually. Why had so much trouble with that? Amazing. Yeah, let's display the. So what do I want to display? Actually, the list prime, I think. Just do DOM display list prime. Whatever is in there. Probably need to add a drag a bunch of show instances, but that's fine. types. So in undo types is where we define everything. This will make a toString, well, sort of toString instance for all these data types for us. It's code generation. The scope DOM display. Right, we need to tell it about DOM. Yeah, my code base has become big enough that I don't even use the direct libraries anymore. I have like my own abstractions at this point. Something that Paul Graham also mentions is that you need to make your DSLs in your language or in your project. Yeah, I'm using lenses directly though, so that probably never gonna get rid of that. Michel's data-driven design is a trade-off, increases coupling. I'm all for it. Yeah. Coupling? How does it increase coupling? Well, you get like layers of abstractions upon layers of abstraction, right? I haven't made much of a DSL for lenses at all though. I'm thinking like, huh, that's a really good abstraction. Data format, which is okay. Ah, I like that already. Yeah, but mapping between data formats is just something you do as programmer, right? Yeah, that's the other big change I want to make maybe. Because right now, this is weird. I mean, it's not that weird. Well, it's kind of weird. I'm going to show it. So we have this. Let's see, authenticated. Right, this stuff. So the undo result is a tuple of two events. One of them will be fed into toast widget. So this is the toast it can produce to say the undo is successful or not. And the other one is actually to update the roster. And this event gets inserted into the authenticated, like it needs to go up the monad stack so it's recursive. Goes the wrong direction. Don't ask me how this works, but it works okay. Right, so we get this undo roster event, and this gets merged actually with another update roster event from messages, which we made last time. Display makes me believe, because we insert both of these into the roster widget, maybe they're actually part of the roster widget. And I looked at the roster widget, and it is apparently just a thing that's directly on the DOM, so in the root of the DOM. So you can probably move these two widgets inside the roster widget and have a bit more clean main thing going on. Because it's not used anywhere else, these events. So they're probably part of it then. Yeah, you like get less names in the global space and the events don't leak. I feel like managing events is a big part of keeping reflex complexity down. You want to keep the events as close or as localized as possible. Especially like these empty events. What the fuck is this, man? There's no type safety here. You need to do everything by name, which is dangerous. It's pointful programming. But we finished. It should be displayed now. Should get like some list here, I think. Probably empty. Right, so the pre-render doesn't display that because we didn't restart the server. Actually, this is also maybe a... Like, this message stuff, what I talked about is also maybe a coupling thing, right? Because you want to keep these events localized. That's why I started talking about that. Reminded me of that. I say, there's nothing. That's weird. I'm looking for the list. But we displayed it, right? Maybe we didn't get it code. Right, I want to make a shortcut for refer buffer. I'm using that a lot, so let's make one. Is error free? Decent. I never used this. Let's overwrite this. Come on, Emacs. Console recent. Let's do referred buffer. Yeah. Yeah, there are bugs. I tested it out the other day. I didn't test it last time, right? I was like, oh, there probably won't be any bugs. It compiles, you know. And if it compiles, it always works. But I won't expect the. I'm expecting this to finish quite quickly. How about some automated tests? How would you test this? Like, if you have any ideas, then I'm open for it. But what do you use for unit testing? HPAC. I have some tests. For example, PaySpec. Don't hack me. And apparently I just traverse or something, whatever. The fuck? Yes, I generate unit tests based on data, apparently. You can do that. I don't even use this code. We're testing your servant stuff. Well, I mean, if you perform an action, compare the DOM of the page, then click undo and check if the same DOM page you compare a stream of all past events, or would it be like a reflex test thing? I'm probably not gonna make it automated anyway because it takes so much time. Right. The world doesn't know about reflex. I think there's a pure implementation of reflex. Yeah, it's probably reflex self then. Good. Now it's like showing results for fitness center and like revalidation stuff. You know, reflex is sport. God damn it. You have spider and pure. And this doesn't generate anything. I would use this probably, actually. I don't know how to use it though. I'm not worried unless there's something built for that already. I like to use snapshot based tool for that. To record what happens when I use manually tool and get some code which I can then make more general. Okay. I think I needed Acrobat Reader or something at some point. And I just had it run in Docker. Oh, it wasn't on this laptop. It was on the other one. Oh. Just need to restart systemd after doing this. We can use the revert shortcut. This is actually, I use this a lot. It just trashes the current buffer and reloads it from the file. Yeah, I need this spell. I'm just doing reverse search, by the way. Oh my god, you're slow. What the fuck? This is CPU usage. I feel I need to kill some chromium. Probably kill that one. Twitter, huh? More villages on word. 11 is laughing, right? It's Age of Empires. Yeah. I got the original soundtrack. YouTube doesn't mind apparently. Like, I'll also upload my streams on YouTube just to have a backlog. If someone is interested in that. I used to love that game, now he hates it. kill Emacs. Oh, now I need to do the thing again. Oh, it still hasn't. Wow, it's so slow. Good day. Yeah, it's a Twitch thing, right? Twitch project. Checklist. There we go. How does that work? Oh, I have the same buffer up. Right. What? Oh, I had it on this. Right, I had it on OB. Go up, go up. Good job. I have some technical difficulties. I get confused by the OBS window because it also shows something selected. I need to set up the font size again. I want to have it bigger. Done. There you go. I just ran this spell with like Ctrl C, evaluate this block? Yes. And then it does that. What about Age of Mythology? I'm asking because it currently got it installed and working. What's planned on today's stream besides making undo work? Oh, we have a list of things to do. Actually, do you have it working on Nixos or Linux? I mean, I can just get it on Steam, I suppose. Well, but sometimes things don't work. I never played that game though. To do. What's in dock probably? Thanks, man. So that undo button testing. Oh, we can do eLisp. Right. The other thing is we have this overview here of time worked, and we need to make this programmable. So there's this library for EDN parsing, which is basically the format of closure, and we can like make our own little Lisp implementation to make that programmable, and that allows people to do, for example, wage calculation. I'm just gonna make like a minimum call it work minimum wage table to look up like minimum wage, and then they can like add or retract whatever based on the time. Actually, I'm not sure how important this is at the moment though. May need to do something else first, because I went to the clients and they had some other requests. This one is pretty big, like they want to have a different interface for planning in. It's actually not that much work, but they want to be able to, for counting times. Actually, we need to probably do these first. These two, yeah. These are like small but important to make time tracking work properly. They want to be able to insert vacation days, and they want to be able to people who are planned in but not really, like they're on standby. Standby people need to be also register, like need to be able to register their own time. So this shouldn't be too hard. Because I just make it I'll just remove the standby thing and then make it a real roster entry. But I need to make another endpoint for that. On stream you get those extended, reloaded editions, whatever. With the data manipulation language? Yeah, we'll just make a Lisp out of that. Like, so we'll just make another implementation of Clojure basically. EDN is just a serialization format like JSON, but flexible enough to capture Lisp code reasonably. It's actually a subset of Clojure, yeah. So like we have the syntax parsing, and then the Do end users know how to Lisp? Well, it's more about giving capabilities. I can help them with making a final implementation based on their wishes or something. And I'm also like, you know, the people I'm talking to, they have their own company, so they're usually quite resourceful. They can figure it out. I'm confident. Like Lisp is a really simple language though. That's I think it's easy to understand. Because there's just one rule, right? You have like application of whatever fun. So if you just show a couple of examples, then it should be easy to figure out for them. That, for example, this. Let's see, so 12 plus 3 is 15. If you get a couple of these examples, then you can figure it out. But I wanted to make it programmable because then they can potentially like keep up to date with how they want to calculate their wages and stuff. But I think this is more important though, these two. And then do that calculation. Because this makes the time counting just work. And then they can have their own method beside that. Now people can use it actually properly. The thing is that non-Lisp expression syntax usually is more familiar to non-programming users. No, they're not familiar at all with programming, so it doesn't matter. Type into a calculator. I don't know, I don't really want to make a parser of anything. Just have giving this capability and like me maybe helping them out is also fine. But this was why I thought this was a nice solution. A crappy solution is fine, you know. We can improve upon it later. And by the way, like if I have it in Lisp, then it's easily to do migrations, for example, to another language. Yeah, how about Excel? I don't know. I think it's fine to do in Lisp. I think it's fun to do in Lisp. That's also important. Yeah, that's about it. So we need to figure out the mystery of why don't you display. We'll make a comment as well, I think. There we go. It's like that, right? Yeah. Yeah, you can also build another front end on top of it. Yeah. Like if I, in a perfect world, I would just make a menu, right? But still, if I do it in Lisp, then I can easily build a menu for that stuff. But I'm not gonna do a menu, it's too much work. I wanna keep it short and focused. Now we need to wait on the other compiler. Oh, it's already starting. Oh, it's fast. Wait, are you just slow as fuck or something? Did you lock up? No, it did compile that one. Actually, this thing Stack Overflowed the other day. GTDS, it didn't like. Let's see. I have it somewhere. We got a Stack Overflow on GTDS linking for template Haskell. Actually, they fixed it in the recent version, but I'm kind of stuck with versions right now to the Reflex platform, so I can't update. Well, I can, but I don't want to put in the effort. I feel like a lot of this startup shit is just managing what you want to fix. Everything is broken. Yeah, template Haskell and Stack Overflow. What a duo. It's not even the template Haskell itself that's the problem. It's the linking of set template Haskell. So this was like a compiler bug. They fixed it apparently. No, I haven't to do as much patching of GTS since many of the formerly applied patches have been upstreamed. Oh, that's cool. Wait, it's in Nix? What the hell? I don't know where it is. Whatever. Let's continue. What I always really like to joke about is that GHC has a whole bunch of impure code in there, using global references and stuff. And this introducing leaks. Really? Well, it's like written mostly by academics, and if you have seen some of the code they produce, it's amazing. It's amazing they could keep like their projects going. Although, like, I also don't make the most beautiful code, but at least it's sort of organized. I can find stuff. Right, actually, the other thing I'm gonna do off stream probably is set up chatbots. So probably the Lambda bot and also Hypernerd. You call it Lambda bot, right? Because the other big news is that the client is gonna pay for this project. At least I sent a bill to them. So I have resources available. Actual resources in annuity. In perpetuity. Just need to get more clients, that's all. Not much, but enough to like run chatbots. But yeah, my project has, from coding perspective, not moved that much in the last week, but I did get stuff done from business side. What is this? Why? What the fuck? Oh no. I think this is bugged. Is this because it's so long, or what? Why? Doesn't fit on it. I have a max, don't I? How many hours is that? 1020, right. So it works for smaller amounts, but if we get bigger then it doesn't work. This is so fucking annoying. Okay, this is also bugged. Will you fix that? I basically sold this, man. What the fuck? This sort of works, I think. But where does it break down? Oh, because they're 4 instead of 4, they're 5. All large numbers are 5. But this seems to work. What the fuck? No, this is wrong. It says 7:30 even though it's 7. This is already wrong. It even becomes more wrong if we go bigger. Still no sliding bar though. Oh, now we have it. I think on any time I don't have a debounce. I have a debounce on this thing though. This is less laggy. Still laggy. But also now this computer is on the strain, right? That's the streaming. There's like a number here. You can see it. 1240. Yeah, now I've selected it. Wait, what? The max is being changed by ending time. But now it's working. No, it's not. Ah, nice pasta, man. Honey. Oh. I've seen some Haskell code with most of the obscure operators that some people created and no one understood. Yeah, there are obscure operators here as well. Fmap is all obscure though. $sign is also not obscure. It just means money. This means diamond money. And this is alpha diamond email money? We also have triangles. The triangle is the same as dot. Still around sale Twitch? It's laggy on your PC, it's 4 times slower on mobile device and lots of laptops have low-end CPUs too. Consider the VMs without graphics. Virtual machines without graphics drivers? Yeah, I agree, it's slow. I don't really know what to do about it. I don't think this is GPU locked though, it's CPU slow. And I'm also like on the fast. You know, shorty ones. Check. Yeah, we can open VirtualBox if you want. I think I have a patch specifically to test. Because my one of my clients was using Internet Explorer for some reason. I told him not to, but you know, what the fuck is this? It's probably a bad idea, by the way. No, I have enough RAM, so it should be fine. Not RAM. Like, this doesn't take a lot of CPU, but a lot of RAM, mostly. Which is slow as fuck. Oh no, like it takes 2 entire cores. Right. Right, maybe I shouldn't do this at all. We don't need those cores. They're overrated. You can disable acceleration in settings. I don't think this laptop has acceleration either though. No, it has. It has like a crappy Intel acceleration. This is a really bad laptop, you know. It's like I bought it because it's light to carry around. And if I need to go to the clients and whatever, then it's easy, you know, to take with you. General. Probably need to reboot also. Where do you find that? No, acceleration. Okay, okay. VTX AMD 5. Enable nested paging. I think this is for memory. Getting Windows ready. Don't turn off your computer. You're so annoying, Windows. I bet someone flipped out over that. What the hell do I care? Okay, let's see. Para virtualization interface. It's probably gonna be KVM, but it's fine. What is this? We'll try to make use of the host CPU's hardware virtualization extensions such as Intel VTX and AMD 5. Use of nested page extensions. I don't know what this means. This is not graphics, right? Oh, your testing may be fine. The crappy laptop. Yeah, that's the best way to test, you know. And we can also do Android, by the way. Did I set it up? We probably can. Chromium can test on Android. And it's not that bad, I think. So my phone is also crappy, of course, because I have everything crappy. Does improve performance of paging. Yeah, that's memory. CPU throughput. So neither are for graphics. But I wouldn't expect this stuff to be used in a virtual machine anyway. Let's not touch that. Slow as fuck. I was more concerned about the actual bug, that this is not right. Why though? They're too wide. Height. We still have white and height apparently. There are too many of them, that's the problem. Okay, figured it out. So we need to increase step size of these labels as well. If they're becoming bigger. Because they're pushing it over the thing. If there are too many of them. Like you see they have width and height. So we should have like a maximum of maybe 100 or 10. Oh, there's 50. So we can just do like quad again and calculate the step size. Oh my god. Okay, we can do this after undo. Fixing bugs. Fix break length for. This is a break length, by the way. I didn't put it to English for some reason. Should do that. Fix break length for. We should also at some point add like a proper select the right translation. It would be better for streaming. Automatically based on host system. I can do it quite easily now. We should maybe actually do this stream. It will make my life easier. Lots of things to do. Fixed break length for large amount of options. So what happens is the thing just pushes it off. There's not enough space. They push it up by minimum width. I think they have to have a width, unfortunately. Maybe we can set it manually to 0. Still has a width. Background Y. Font size. Oh, I don't understand these. Why do they have this? Fuck. There's something. No, there's nothing in it. Right, it was about I was reading the comments. But let's see. Let's see. Why don't I have a list? It should be here somewhere. Refresh. So can I get it from servant? Servant. I'm like talking about language. Can I get the? Let's get a browser extension that automatically adds Haskell to all my searches. Oh. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing, right? I'm talking about language. I captured that. Because in a request there should be a request language. Get requests with headers. I think I do that. Special handling of accept. Accept. Extract a given header value of a type A by client parsed by the server. Oh, this will be inserted in the function, that would be good. When I capture this one. Let's do that. On the server side, you could just, yeah, I'm gonna capture it server side and then just give it to the client. Like, I'll show you. Because client and server are the same. We can, no, we can like put it in the initial state from here. Let's see. It's not in common though, it's server. Does this define anything? No. Routes, yeah. So, root, like root is raw. It doesn't seem right. Backend API. It's this one. So this thing actually returns HTML. My REST API, yeah, it returns HTML because it needs to serve the front end. We're gonna add that header here. Put it in new tab maybe. Maybe you can decode it immediately, that would be good. You need to do the parsing on server side, and then you don't need to pass it to the client. It already has it. Window navigated languages variable where it's at. Really? No, I need to get it from the server because I probably can use this. I thought it wasn't exposed last time I looked, but this may be new. Yeah. No? Seems pretty old actually. Oh, why did I thought it wasn't possible? No, I actually probably just looked at the reflex shit back then. Because now I have the capability to also use JavaScript code. Even though it's kind of a pain to set up, but I can. No, but if I do it like with the backend, then the initial pre-render will have the right language. So as soon as you do a request, it will be immediately in the right language, everything. So in the pre-render, and then the JavaScript will load, and it will use the same source of truth. That makes sense. And I can also share the types for doing that. Yeah. We can just put it in the initial app state. But we need to write not explicitly as well. It may be because the server side is cached. Well, yeah, it may be buggy at some edge cases, but I'm fine with that, I think. Am I fine with that? Like, I need to patch it for the pre-render stuff. I need to pass it anyway to the client. And then I can use that pre-render function to maybe also call that function. But then I need to decode twice. I think it should just keep it simple for now. And if I ever need to fix that as a bug, I doubt anyone would ever submit it as a bug request. Because if you're like a foreigner, you will have this shit where the language is not the right one set anyway. Like, I mean, if you're not a native English speaker, you will run into this problem all the time. I've seen it happen so often. For example, Microsoft suddenly turning to Dutch for some reason. Microsoft Docs. But even when I was in China, it would decide that because of my IP that I would need to have Chinese documentation, which was amazing. I had to like use Chrome's inbuilt translation to basically navigate around and stuff, and that was really awkward because most of Chrome services are, or most of Google services are blocked in China. It should be persisted at least. So if I change my language and come back later, it will not change back. Should be the default. I don't think the root is cached anyway. That's like the only aspect at this point which I don't cache. Let's see. Yeah, we use the Nick store basically as a way to to name our things, our resources. No, not this. That's mine. But it's not cached. Ever. What? Why is it doing the wrong thing? What? Where's my own stuff? God damn it, YouTube. Let's block YouTube. Oh, I can't in this one. Oh, don't persist. That's the problem. There we go. I understand it. So yeah, the root is never cached because I'm using Nix to do caching for the other shit. For example, right. So the CSS is cached and the app is also cached. And this is that like shardcode is basically directly from the Nix store. So whenever I do a deploy, I'll get a refresh like this. So it's like pretty efficient. And I can also like have reproducibility around where I can figure out what exact code is being run on the client, as long as I keep the nick store intact, which I don't. Yeah. I'm not worried about caching as much as if a user ever changes language by clicking a button. Oh right, that's what you mean. No, like they will keep the same language. Ah, that's yeah, but I'm not gonna do that. That's too much work. Like they will keep the same language throughout as long as they keep the app open. I don't do any refreshes, right? This is entirely a single page app. I got this beautiful compiler. We should use server generic at some point. Much better. Oh, it's just for this. There we go. It's just a cookie sort of. It's not that hard, he says. I had so much trouble with cookies. You wouldn't know. I think I spent like 2 weeks just figuring out what the fuck is going on with the cookies. Because apparently, my service behaved differently depending on where I deployed it. If I had run it locally, the cookies would not work. No, if I had run it locally, then the cookies would work, and if I deployed it, then it wouldn't work. It was done by like the proxy in between. I think back then I used Google App Engine, and they did stuff with cookies apparently for me. And also like the I had another serve, like I had Nginx between it, and it would just ignore cookies and pass everything through the app, and then it could also like serve the cookies from the app or not. Oh, that's what weird. Never mind. Cookies. Oh, man. That's a problem. I just want to log this for now. See what it does. Then do a quick lookup. Yeah, this is easy to implement actually. From where? Where would I put this? I probably can import this actually. I probably have already imported. What did I import? Settings? Import settings? Date types. I could probably import this actually. Let's just do that. It's fine. That was the same buffer. And used. Cookies can also be used client side. What I meant. We need to involve the server. In that case, it's really easy. Yeah. I'd rather just keep all the state in server for now. By the way, you are show. How does it even know that should be like implement an instance, right? Pretty much. What? Quest headers. I'm thinking like it should probably complain about the instance not being there, but it doesn't. It's weird. Too much type header long. Nani? Oh, you need to have an extra argument, right? I did some hacking apparently. How is this even a problem? There you go. Oh, it's not the same. This though? Fuck. It told me about function composition. What the hell? Maybe header long. It's a good point. It should still complain about, yeah, exactly. From HTTP data 8 header long. We can do the direct decoding of this right now in that type class. What I just want to know is basically what language it is. This may seem strange, but yeah. Good. So this thing makes a servant combine with data types. If you implement this instance, I think it's like REST. No, it's like they moved it out in a separate package, I think. So now other libraries that can also use this stuff. We need to have from HTTP data. Pass a URL path piece, which is either failure or whatever type you implemented. What's the difference? Not derive this using derive any class. As generate instance will loop indefinitely. That's great. How would you do this for text? We're just gonna modify this instance to be actually some type, I think, of languages supported. Or nothing. All right. Okay. Cross your LPs. That's it. Let's just use this for now. Yeah. I'll make an instance for generic and wrapped. Done with the pasta. It's the spiciest thing I ever had in my life. Spicy food, man. Once upon a time I had such spicy food that you just got sick basically. Started sweating for like an hour or two after it. It was in Indonesia, so you know. You don't know about lands? The burst in flames while eating this. You just need to continue. Oh, now I'm in the mood for spicy food. What is L for the text? Or L text? So you're gonna make it lazy. I don't know about generic. And you're hopeless. Who doesn't know about generic? Didn't even add spicy chef, just chili fish that someone got me. Just one, not a small one. They got me dead party. What are you trying to do with from HTTP data? So that's like this is the secret keyword for servant to put stuff in your API directly. So if you wanna put like the data types directly into your servant API, you need to derive or instantiate that class. But what I actually want to do is I want to not have this as text, but just as a sum type for Dutch and English, basically. And once I have that, then I can just like let the front end decide based on that sum type what language to use initially. What are you trying to do? Oh, I just instantiated myself. I'm doing it right. Yeah. But for now, I just want to make it compile first. Yeah, that's actually what I'm trying to do. Bit much type element text. Wait, hello one. Oh, it's parsing. We need to preview. Wait, why do you want to make this strict then? What the fuck? Oh, this is the lazy one. God damn it. Okay, I see my problems. Yes. Let's see preview. Preview, I think. There you go. It's pretty fast, right? I think you can do this even. Fuck. Apparently you can't. Come on, let me in. I forgot the name of this thing. I thought it was preview, but apparently not. Review! It's review. Yeah, pattern match was a good idea actually. Should do that. But I want to know what's inside it for now. And then I'm gonna pattern match by copying out the logs. So nobody will expect this. It's genius. Fill in any optimizing compile times. All of them have high compilation times. Well, like, you know, you always need to wait on compilation times. So you will always start complaining about it, because it's just basically dead time. You do nothing. You generate definitions from servant API or interpret the API anyway other than as a server? Yes, I do. So very sour. I'm glad you asked, because I have the client. I can find it. Okay, I need to invalidate the cache, which is C, I think. Yeah. Client. Let's so auth client is a function. This is mostly type definitions, it's not your file. And here we just basically fix it up for a bit, because this thing doesn't generate that nice of a API for us. Because all the dynamics are filled with either for some reason. I don't know why. And one thing I want to do is actually fix up this library that I'm using for this servant reflex in the near future, because it's so yeah, it's just kind of annoying to work with. But that will be a lot of type level stuff, because you know, servant. That'll be fun. But yeah, this is all just basically generates reflex code for you to do the XHR requests. And it also ensures that your API will be consistent always. No orphan instances, I believe. Do I? No, I don't think so. For the cookie stuff, I think I had some. Let's look at orphanage. Front end. Yeah, for cookie. Yeah, but this was just a version thing. At this point I should just do all the orphan stuff in common. No, because there's also... like... No, I can't. Unfortunately I can't, because there's database stuff in here. But that one can definitely be moved and we can delete a module. That's nice. Let's do that. Workbench. Yeah. So back in the olden days, I still had a separation between front-end and back-end, but now the back-end is dependent on front-end because I do server-side rendering. And that's fine. It makes the stuff actually a lot easier to work with. Module import cycle. Alright, you can't import yourself. Yes. Forgot it is done. I don't know why. Ah. This is to project wide, find and replace. Which is totally possible. Projectile. You're lying! Front end, orphanage. Let me spell. Master, front end. That's it? You're not having coarse middleware on your application or something to auto-reply to pre-flight requests, right? I disabled coarse because it was fucking annoying. It did stuff with cookies. I think by default you have to enable it. Did I disable coarse? Maybe. Don't hack me, man. It'll be annoying. I'm a very I have security by trust. I just trust the hackers to not attack me. No, this is the wrong main. I'm looking for like web servers or something. Oh, no, that's XSRF. That's course. I don't know about course. I made a to-do item though. This was so also so fucking annoying. It disables it for HTTP. But then I can't test. Because then I need to like have on my local server HTTPS setup. Why would I do that? But in the production, I'm always running over HTTPS. I don't have HTTP, but it's fine. Security by trust. I had some dubious orphan instances to servant options to serve pre-flight requests. The instant type arguments didn't make sense. What is a pre-flight request? That's a security thing. Like I think most of the security bullshit, security breaches happen not because people are lazy, but just because they're ignorant. And I know because I am. Here's the checks to see if a course protocol is understood. But you get this by default, right? Because the browser does things. Yeah, I'm not across domains. I just serve on my own domain. I don't think I can do that. This core stuff is for cross-origin attacks, which run from the browser, I think. The browser protects you if you try to do it from another domain, if the server doesn't want it. Servant doesn't have it by default. It does have it by default, right? Does it? I don't know. Let's see, servant course. Allow origin. I shouldn't. I don't even want cross origin domain request at all. There's no reason for me to have that. When you request a resource from someplace and you send options request with the headers and the method request doesn't you? That's why I thought you didn't care about that. By default, servant doesn't reply to pre-flight requests, and course is basically same origin. Yeah, I remember because I disabled course on some other application because I had to. It was for a client, I think. I had to do that because they're basically paranoid about putting stuff online and they didn't give me complete access, so I couldn't do it in a nice way and had to hack around a bunch of shit. You know, get working code. It was really bad though. I feel bad about that. Well, at the time I was also ignorant, so there you have it. I found out later, which is the best way to find out. Makes it okay? No, it doesn't make it okay. It makes it a stupid mistake. That's why I feel bad about it. Not that they're gonna get hacked anytime. But let's see, what was it doing? Right, we have it set in the render stuff. So we should get the message now if we restart the server. Right now. There's just so much logging going on. This is the initial request. Look at that. I want to be Dutch though. That's unfortunate. Yeah, that's why we can't pattern match, by the way. It's a long string, it's not chunked. Oh, there's like a priority to... God damn it. I'm thinking regexes. What the fuck? What the fuck is this? I configured my system to be touch. Maybe we should just make a separate account. IP leaked. It is assumed that the highest priority is in front. That's easy. I need to have a fallback though. String-scaping, this is my expertise, man. Okay, let's take the first two characters. But look at that, it's like a list of configurations with a priority attached to that. No? Presume this is the priority then? No. This is the first one. This is a separation. And then we have like... separation. And then the final 7 is nothing? Just do whatever you want. Why does it even give the Chinese? I can also do Chinese. No, I can't, but... Otherwise, by split by semicolon and split by comma. Just take the first two. I think I'm gonna take first two. If it would be English, I would assume it's EN first. I don't know what the Q is. Types weighted by the quality value syntax. Quality values are Q values, and Q factors are used to describe the order of priority files with a comma-separated list. Special syntax allowed for some HTTP headers in HTML. Oh, this is 100%. So they're like this. 80%, 70%, anything else, 50%. Right, 100%. Okay, now I understand. 80%. Or 90%, I mean. 80%, 70%. Megaparsec stream. No. You can take the first two. Don't you know your data? What the hell? probably do text. That's fine. Mega parsec stream. Render HTML is doing so much lifting now. Yeah, it's because I don't have a polymorphic monad stack like in Reflex, because you can generate these lifts with MTL style. That's basically what Reflex does. But I haven't found. Let's just say it's not worth it to figure that out. Because it doesn't make that many endpoints anyway, so I'm mostly doing front-end stuff. Apparently. I never thought I would be a front-end developer. Right. Although, like I said it, but if I think about the amount of game dev I've done, just making random games, you could also consider that to be front end. Front of a computer. I heard a lot of people, backend devs, say that front-end dev is easy. But it isn't if you want high quality results. It can be a bunch of fun too. Yeah, like I think it's kind of fun with Reflex at least. I didn't find it fun with React because it's just so much boilerplate and so hard to refactor. Yeah, Elm is also. I wrote a game in Elm. And shaders. That's about all my Elm experience. I should start working on that Haskell game again at some point. But not today. But Elm is really more the people developing it and the community around it, which is kind of toxic. Is it toxic now? It used to be very, very welcoming. Need to move that to common. Probably long actually. I think I've already done something like this at some point, but maybe yeah. I can move to comment, that's fine. I want to import lang there though. Let's make a model header. Yeah. Module header. I don't know why, but I have explained better too. Seems okay. Tools did outline simplicity for beginners. Also a professional tool. Doesn't feel like a machine, but sort of like, hey, it's unsettling. That's how I found it. To be honest, I don't really interact much with programming communities in general, because if I do something new, then usually I just figure it out by myself. And like read other people's discussions. Well, I guess I do it now for a bit with like Haskell and Twitch. But I think Twitch is very welcoming community. Useful to ask a question or two so you don't waste a day on something that's trivial. It wasn't trivial for you. Yeah. I have like a hard time asking questions. But I often end up in these situations where you figure it out, and at the point where you figure it out, you end up with a lot of frustration because it was so simple or something. For Elm in specific, it was like deploying, I think, because they talk a lot about how to, you know, do how to set up your development environment and whatever. But then once you want to deploy, you basically need to run some spells to get like a proper result out, to have it usable. And it took me a while to figure out how to do that properly. I asked him, but I mostly don't get an answer. That's annoying. But like, not getting a reaction is something else than toxic, I think. You didn't mention that word toxic, but... Because like open source projects, they're basically done by volunteers anyway. Or, yeah. So they're always understaffed and in demand. I'm using some Elm project template that supposedly has ready for deployment stuff in it. For Elm I got reactions and they were positive. Oh, really? Well, good man, good for you. Elm project template as opposed to some ready for deployment stuff in it. There's an Elm project template? Okay. It's all in Nix. Create Elm app. Oh, okay. 2 years ago. Yeah, so... I don't know if I can search your own programming language. I don't think I can. The problem here is... Oh, this one is more recent. But the other one... Like, this is where I learned Elm. Updated? What the fuck, why is it updated? Yeah, it's 3 and 4 years ago. And this thing is only 2 years old, so... Lucky me, man. I think I was very experimental 2 years ago. I almost broken its API quite a few times. Huh. I think they're also gonna get rid of the shader stuff I used, unfortunately. Even though it's like fun to work with. And also interesting. Real world Elm app. Production build. I always like when people try to make a distinction between production code and whatever you hacked at home. If it works, man. But I guess it's like culture. Get rid of what? Oh, in my case, they wanted to get rid of the shader stuff. I hear. Like, at some meetup, I heard. Not this one, but the other one. Where Where is it? That's probably view. That's a great name, by the way, view. Has to do with seeing. I think this is the record types you talked about last time. Like the extensible records, because you can put in anything in here as long as it has a V color of type vec and a V texture coordinate. But this stuff, yeah. This is the shader itself. Pixel shader. Yeah, this is pixel shader, actually. This is for transformations of locations. Yeah, that's all. But like they wanted to get rid of the these blocks because these are from Haskell, right? These quasi quotations. And then my shader stuff doesn't work anymore, unfortunately. Even though it's compiled, it's like a function. It has like an entire little thing around it. It's amazing. And template Haskell looks bad in every language. Maybe you just don't like maybe you just don't like C syntax. I just can't figure out that these things are arguments as to this function, which is the shader. It's like these line up, right? V color, V color. And if you change this name, it will get a compile error. So it's cool. Okay. We don't know about from HTTP data. Well, what is it? Boiler. Not like that. I don't think I can even do that. That's how bad I am. If you're wondering, these record types are called row polymorphism usually. There have been discussions about adding them to Haskell. Yeah, that would be great. You can kind of... Oh, you can't get that effect. Not like that. Yeah, well, type classes maybe. You don't know about from HTTP data. That's unfortunate. Why delete servant? Let's export that. Servant API, right? Man, the record system in Haskell. What if you could define a module inside another module? Then a record could be syntactic sugar for that submodule. Like OCaml. oriented languages. Yeah, and Scala I think too, right? You can use objects as namespaces. Actually, OCaml and Scala, I think they're kind of similar. Well, no, if you consider implicit, it's not, I think. But it's good to have having data with 2 record variants. The record structure works on one variant, but throws an exception on another. Good. Yeah, OCaml and Scala are very similar. I should list put my ReasonML experience on my resume. Yeah, so ReasonML is like a variant of OCaml, and but you know, OCaml looks kind of like Scala, so you know, I'm experienced with Scala. I don't have generic anymore, unfortunately. Yeah, Haskell has a record wildcard, right? You really use Haskell and OCaml have it. OCaml too, I didn't know that. Haskell has record wildcards. You can do local implicit please. I've done that at. I know I've done that at least at the web server, like the entry point for the parser. So these head settings, they have the same name as the server options, and therefore they get set in there. The result. It's kind of nicer to do it like this, but it's still applicative because it's applicative too. Implicit parameters. You have implicits in Haskell? Implicit parameters are implemented as described. Numerically bound when it's bound by the calling context and the function statically bound. In Haskell, all variables are statically bound. Why did you say that? A simple extension of type class system of Haskell, we can support dynamic binding. Basically, you expect the use of dynamically bound variables as a constraint to a type. This function uses the dynamically bound variable x of type t. So if you fit the type, then you can use that. How would you even do that with this? Anything that's ick you can use. Or oh, sort? Oh, sort is something else. Never mind. Haha. Fuck? Oh, there's even more. Okay. I'm not gonna read it all. Plus dot distinction for everything. I've never ever seen anyone use implicit parameters in Haskell. Import of DHC generics is redundant. Oh, here. They're used internally for some extensions. Initial, no. I want to have initial app state. State. This looks more like. You can give a language here. Wait, I'm thinking. Actually, I'm gonna put these in there. Yeah, that's a great idea. I can just put directly the languages in there. Because they're already constants anyway. So, okay. So we're just gonna make an instance for HTTP data for the entire language thing. And then directly insert language inside the initial app state. It's genius. It will just be language instead of header line. Oh, let's also put the explanation and comments there. Yeah, so we're just gonna implement from HTTP data for language. And then routes is gonna directly depend on language. And we're just gonna put the entire language in the API. And then we can just delete this entire sum type thing. So what we will get from the API is basically this, which is a function from message to text. And a format for time. That's fine. We can do that because it's just this, right? There you go. Why didn't I do this in the first place? If you are wondering about that polymorphism thing, a type class can just be represented as a record of functions. Yeah. You can simulate type classes and just making things polymorphic. That's exactly how. Yeah, the way I understand it is like Records are is where everything gets desugared to products and co-products. Oh, I did it twice. But headline is gone now. It's just language. Why aren't you sending? Why aren't you compiling? Oh, I didn't save. So render needs to change for a bit. We just get a maybe language. And you can resolve the maybe by using a default. Which will be English. Or Dutch. Nah, it will be Dutch. It will be Dutch, yeah. Actually, yeah. Will it be Dutch? At the moment it will be Dutch. Lang is header lang from maybe Dutch. And initial will be init. It's in state, I think. There you go. The grant. Whoop. Didn't I modify this? Deflang. Wait, what? Where's that one? I guess we finished this to do. Not recommended though, and there are some weird cases to take care of. What? Talking to Lumi? Or to Local Tower? There we go. What are you grant? Imports lang. Imports. Right, so for the definitions we need to have these pay shit and whatever, but the actual data doesn't need that stuff. So you can remove this thing over into a separate module. Haskell is one, yeah, it is. shit. Fuck, we still need to have machines. The other thing we can do then, delete this stuff. Yes. We'll move this one out. We'll move this into any state or something. Yep, we're gonna do that. Because it doesn't depend on so much stuff. Can get rid of ground. Definitely state from to. Now we don't need to depend on. What did you say? Pay, which depends on grant. What does pay depend on grant anyway? It probably doesn't need to depend on any state, but that's fine. Oh, right. That's annoying. Oh, it's because of module re-exports. We don't need to do this then. Okay, okay. We can fix this. We can fix this. Or do I have subscribe? No. There we go. No more cycles. That's annoying. You sending? I gave up. Thanks. Why doesn't it do that? Right, we need to import servant. Servant API. But this is actually like way more. Sorry, how's it going? This is more elegant. Because now we don't need to introduce an extra data type. Just to figure this language out. And I can directly insert it. I have a question. Like, some guy asked me, does Scala have type classes? And I was like, no, it just has traits, right? Is that what I mean? Just traits? When they talk about their type classes. It's so weird. I've not seen any concrete type classes. Like, not like this. This. No instance for show language. Okay, drive show on a function. He's stand. Oh! Are you sure? Deriving instant show. I bet this works. Leave shapeless. Safety type drive not implementation. Driving creation from the other stuff. So type plus instances and managers like Haskell or just data which specific different. It's just so confused sentence. But you mean a product or some data? I read a lot of performance mentioned. Mechanisms auto-generating. Yeah, the reason I'm not using generics is, or template Haskell is because I'm using GHGS. Oh yeah, I'm using generics instead. Alright, I got confused. Good point. It says this works, but I don't believe it because this is a function. How would you show a function? Yes, exactly. How would you show a function? You don't. Actually, you know that show stuff, it's everyone does it unlawfully because you also need to implement read. And I should like be isomorphic. You can show it and then read it, and it works. But so yeah, like macros and generics are kind of interchangeable, right? Except like for generics you use a type system. Well, yeah, generics are pure, whereas macros are maybe not pure. Pure. Open scope. What? Where is this? Right. Okay, I see the problem now. A state. I don't know. Fuck, it's a function. Right, you can't serialize a function, of course. Okay, like this will be this is to be continued next week. I think I need to go back to the sum type idea. But I need to go eat. You guys still having a conversation? I can well, you know, can I guess keep on talking in chat. You can use the Discord to talk. I made a Discord. But yeah, I'm gonna go eat. Yeah, there's Discord here in the links. Oh, you don't see that, right? There's in the... Why did they switch to a light team? It's horrible. Yeah, there's an it's a Discord here. Did I log in? Wait, it doesn't work? Or it does... What did it say just now? Oh, that's... Fuck, what? Why? Let me open up KeyPass. Invalid. Invite. Why is it invalid? On a 20 seconds. How would I know this stuff? Right, I need to not do that here, but there. I'm opening my password manager. Discord. You can see how slow it is. That was auto typing, by the way. Turns out it's pretty useful to have your email address in. Yes, can I have a permalink? Okay. There you go. I'll add it to the thing. But yeah, I need to have a break actually, and eat some stuff, and well, maybe I set up the chatbots too. There you go. Okay, cool. That's set up. Yeah, I'm gonna end it. Let's see. See you, man. I'll be streaming tonight again. I think. And definitely tomorrow. So yeah. But goodbye. Oh right, that's a good idea actually. Yeah, I'll do that. Both. Yeah, I'll do Twitter and Discord. Bye.